Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. We are so excited that you are able to join us on today for 365 reading. And we are reading every day, which we started October the 1st until September 30th, 2021. And we are reading to children all over the world. And we have phenomenal readers that come from all different walks of life. And like no other day, we have two awesome individuals, two awesome ladies that are going to be reading today for 365. And I'll give you a little information in just one moment, but we would like for you to share. Make sure you like our American Literacy Corporation page. We thank Mr. Floyd Stokes, along with the entire team, that we have put on this awesome initiative for children that even though we can't meet physically in person, we're able to actually read virtually each and every day. So we are so excited that we have some awesome, phenomenal readers all over the world that are coming to read to you guys. So we want you to grab your devices, gather around the devices, and listen up, because I'm telling you, they have some phenomenal stories that you don't want to miss. And also, men and women, if you want to be one of the readers to be a part of this great initiative, go to www.superreader.org and sign up today to be a part of this great initiative. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss out on this phenomenal thing. So don't be shy. Go ahead and sign up like the ladies have done as well. But enough about that. We are so excited to have two awesome ladies that are joining us on today. The first reader that we are going to have, she hails from Falls Church, Virginia, and her name is Miss Camisha Parker. And we're so excited to have her. A little bit about Camisha. She is an associate dean at the Northern Virginia College, and she's a PhD student at Old Dominion University. And not only that, but I know she knows how to read because she is a mother of two. So we are excited to have her. She's going to come first. And then following her, we have a native right here in central Pennsylvania, none other than Miss Shayla Thompson. She is actually hailing from the Susquehanna Township part of Harrisburg, and she is the UPMC manager of recruitment. So those that need a job, I'm sure Shayla can help you out, and she'll give you some more information about that. And she is the mother of one 9-year-old daughter, so she has had practice as well, and she's participated in the 100 Women Reading Day. So we're excited to have both of these ladies. I'm going to step out of their way. We're first going to have our first reader, Miss Camisha Parker, and following her, we will have Miss Shayla Thompson. So I want you to be very attentive. Make sure you chat with us down in the chat. Let us know the favorite parts that you like about their stories, and we'll come and follow back up at this time. So Miss Camisha, it is all yours. And thank you for coming and joining us on today.
Thank you so much. All right, so the book that I'm going to be reading today is actually written by Spike Lee, and it's called Giant Steps to Change the World. So we're going to get started here. So it's by Spike Lee and Tanya Lewis Lee, Giant Steps to Change the World. So hopefully you can see this. On some days, your dreams may seem too far to realize. Listen to the whispers of those that came before, those who had hard days, but dared to make their dreams come true. They made giant steps to make the world a better place and left big shoes to fill. The road won't be easy. People will try to exclude you, but you must leap over hurdles like the Olympic athlete who won the gold, even though he had been relegated to the second class status by the very country he was representing. So remember to leap. There will be dark days and lonely nights. Press on through the darkness and keep going. Always remember to keep going. The way the freedom fighter encouraged the enslaved to ride the railroad to safety so that all could be free. Just keep going. You won't always have the answers. Ask for help and guidance, like the teacher who started a school for children thought. unteachable and turn them into scholars. Always ask for help. Others may try to force you to ignore your principles. Stand your ground. Like the heavyweight champion who refused to pick up a gun against a fellow human being. Always stand your ground. If they tell you, no, you are not smart enough, prove them wrong with your fortitude and brilliance, like the neurosurgeon with magic hands, because they were wrong about him and they are wrong about you. Prove them wrong. Your heart will ache for your countryman who is hungry. Go to him and feed him, like the woman who dedicated her life to feeding the hungry and healing the sick, and ask for nothing in return. When you witness the ills that poverty and the lack of education heap on a community, lend your voice, like the poet who wrote of the pain and the beauty of neighborhoods forgotten. So always remember to lend your voice. If you stare at a painting and don't see yourself there, paint your own portrait. Let the world see that you do exist and that you are truly special, like the boy from Brooklyn whose style was so unique. Remember to paint your own portrait. While some may say you're crazy, wild, or even selfish, you know you are just the scientist who had a hard time learning to read, but whose theories became the basis for most of modern science. When those whispering in your ear tell you that your country is in need of new leadership and new direction, make a plan and make your voice heard, like the man who dreamed of his father, found his own vision, and changed the world forever by becoming President of the United States. That first step is key. You may be so unsteady that you actually fall, but you must pick yourself up and keep stepping. Your might and courage will be the foundation that impacts us all. Just keep stepping. So when you take that big first step, be aware of the worst enemy of all, fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being different, fear of being the same. Shoot down that fear, like the mighty pilots from Tuskegee, who shot down their Nazi foes from the sky. Take a giant step over that fear, like the giant step one astronaut made on the moon for all mankind. Now it's your turn. Everyone is waiting. What's your next step going to be? Thank you.
Oh my goodness, what a phenomenal read. Thank you, Miss Camisha. I'm definitely coming back because there's a lot I want to talk about that was in that book. So thank you. We'll be right back with you after Miss Shayla. But thank you so much for reading today. Shayla Thompson, she is coming forth at this time and she is going to be our next reader. So please listen up as she is coming with her awesome book at this time. Shayla, it's all yours.
Thank you. What a great book. I can't wait to talk about that. The book I'm going to read is called Pete the Cat and the Missing Cupcakes, and it's by Kimberly and James Dean. Pete and Gus were as busy as could be. They were getting ready for the cupcake party. It started at 3. They were making cupcakes for everyone. Pete and Gus counted them just for fun. They had 10 when they were done. Oh no, hang on. Some of the cupcakes were gone. They were sure there had been 10. Pete said, maybe we need to count again. They counted the cupcakes, lined up straight. Now there were only 8. It looked like someone had taken 2, but who? Pete and Gus did not know what to do. Just then they found a clue. Gus said, look what I found. Sprinkles on the ground. I bet it was a squirrel. She loves sprinkles. Squirrel said, it wasn't me. It couldn't be. I've been at the spelling bee. Uh-oh, more cupcakes are missing. Come and see. This was too weird. 2 more cupcakes had disappeared. Now there were only 6. Someone must be playing tricks. But who? Pete and Gus did not know what to do. Just then, they found another clue. Pete said, I bet it was Alligator. He loves to eat. Alligator said, it wasn't me. It couldn't be. I've been learning my ABCs. Uh-oh, more cupcakes are missing. Come and see. Now there were only 4. Someone had taken 2 more, but who? Pete and Gus did not know what to do. Just then, they found another clue. I bet it was Turtle, said Pete. I know Turtle loves sweets. Turtle said, it wasn't me. It couldn't be. I've been swimming in the sea. Uh-oh, more cupcakes are missing. Come and see. What on earth was going on? All the cupcakes were now gone. Pete and Gus did not know what to do. They started looking for another clue. They found Grumpy Toad with icing on his face. Pete and Gus have solved the case. I am so sorry. It was me. I could not stop with just one. I ate and ate until there were none. Everyone agreed Grumpy Toad would have to miss the fun. He could not come after what he had done. Pete said, but wait, Grumpy Toad made a mistake. This is true. Let's give him a second chance. That's what friends do. Pete told Grumpy Toad they would give him a chance. He was excited and did the happy dance. The night of the party was so much fun. Grumpy Toad brought more than enough cupcakes for everyone. Thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. I love that book as well. I'm going to bring Miss Camisha back on as well, and we're going to talk about these 2 awesome books that you guys have read today. Again, first of all, let me tell you thank you on behalf of the 365 and Mr. Floyd Stokes. Thank you for taking the time out to read these awesome books. I'm going to go and start. Let's go to Miss Camisha. Miss Camisha, I wrote some notes, so let me go to my notes. You read the book Giant Steps to Change the World by Spike Lee, which I've never heard about. So that's my first time hearing the book. But I thought it was an awesome sense of inspiration because of how he tied those leaders from back then that actually were showing you that you can actually do things today. And Shayla, you can also jump in as well with this too when I asked Miss Camisha, but I loved a couple things. I wrote a couple notes. I love when they talked about just keep going. The fact that this year has been such a heavy year for a lot of us, and children as well. You know, the fact that we can encourage our youth and our young adults to let them know to keep going. I just told somebody last night, don't forget your goals, keep going. Then you said, don't ignore your principles, but stand your ground, paint your own portrait and let the world see that you exist. Shoot down fear and take a giant step over the fear. So, Miss Camisha, I want to ask you one, why you chose that book and what actually stuck out that you really liked about this particular book.
So this is a book that I guess I had purchased for my daughter who's now 12. So it was on her shelf. I just went to her shelf and chose the book. And I remembered the book and I thought it was an important book for this period of time where we're in the middle of really like competing pandemic, right? The pandemic, the global health pandemic, but then also, the pandemic around the racial reckoning with, racial injustice and I think, and then there's other things that are happening too as well. And so I felt like that this book spoke to me, and it could speak to a lot of people, no matter what your circumstances, that we have to keep going. We have to keep taking those steps, right? And we have to not embrace the fear, but we have to push past the fear. So I thought it was, really important. And one of the acronyms that I kind of have for the letters in the word fear are face everything and rise. And so that's what, I think about when I, read this book, and it talks about those leaders who come before and they've done it, right? In spite of circumstances that seemed insurmountable.
Yes. And Miss Shayla, did you want to comment on the book? I know you heard it as well.
I did, and I did not know about that book either, so I did write it down as well. But I love the message of keep going. I think just for me, myself, I look at it as for those individuals that are pursuing something and stop, or they have hurdles along the way, just to keep going. I mean, and I say, it took me forever to get my bachelor's degree, and I kept going. I stopped, I had hurdles and things like that, but I accomplished that earlier in the year. So that's exciting, something 2020 that happened great. But I think it's just that message. And I try to say to youth that I talk to, and even adults, don't stop. We see a lot of candidates within the work that I do, and some people are discouraged or they have to kind of start all over, but I say it's still possible. You can start here and grow. But I love the message of keep going.
I love that. I love that.
Congratulations. I just want to say
Yes.
congratulations on
Thank
getting your
you.
bachelor's degree. That's so
Yes. And that's needed to be heard, because I think a lot of people, as I said, you didn't allow anything that happened within this year to stop you from reaching that goal. So congratulations to you. And we just want to commend you on getting that degree. So I know that's a phenomenal thing. But thank you, Camisha, for sharing that book. Parents, could you hold the book again, just so if any parents or leaders want to actually pick this book up for themselves? Listen, get this book, put it in your libraries. I think I'm going to have to get it for some young people as well. Giant Steps to Change the World by Mr. Spike Lee. Thank you so much, Camisha, for sharing that awesome book. I'm thinking of Faith Over Fear. But what I will say is face everything and rise. I love that. I love that. We're going over to Miss Shayla. You had a book that I loved. It was fun. It was exciting. It was like a childhood mystery, because you had to kind of go on this little mystery to find out who took the cupcake. So you read, and correct me if I'm wrong, keep the cat and the missing cupcakes. Is it right?
It's Pete the cat.
Oh,
So
Pete the cat.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pete the cat and the missing cupcakes. So in this book, the one thing I liked about it, again, like I said, it was a missing mystery. So they were trying to find out who was taking these cupcakes. And the fact that they found out at the end that the toad took the cupcakes. But the thing I liked about it is that they did not throw him to the side. They gave him another chance. And I think it's so important to tell young people, listen, we're making mistakes, but everybody deserves another opportunity to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and try again. And then the thing about it I liked is that the toad was not stingy, but he bought more cupcakes to the party. So talk about this book and what drew you in on this book, and what was one takeaway that you really liked about it?
Sure. So I picked this book. I had a couple of others, but as I said before, I was looking at the past ones and I wanted to do something that I hadn't seen. And so I think just the message of that second chance, or, allow people do make mistakes, but it's okay. And we can move on and we can move past them, and we can still keep friendships, and we can still have, business relationships or anything like that. I think that message is just what stuck with me the most, because I think, again, just related to the work I do, people make mistakes, and we have to give a chance. We have to give somebody an opportunity to start over and do something different and keep going, and that kind of thing. So I just think that that mistake that was made, and getting a chance from his friends. And like you said, he did ultimately then bring back even more, which is great. But I really like that message of it's okay to make a mistake. We can, forgive, we can let go, we can move on, and still have a good outcome. So that was the biggest piece.
Absolutely. Miss Camisha, did you want to add anything? I know you listened to the book as well.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I think that Shayla actually really summed it up, but I would just, say that, when we get into those situations where we have made a mistake, we have to think about how to, rewrite that story. And I think that and change that narrative, so it's like, we want to make it right if we've done something that's, incorrect or wrong, but we also don't want to stay stuck in that place, right? So, and it's, also I thought that the book really did a good job of talking about, how we forgive and we move on, right? And we keep that camaraderie, which is definitely needed in the space that we are now with COVID.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And I did want to say, because I know that Ms. Shayla, you do work in the facility of healthcare facility. So did you want to kind of shed some light and just kind of give some people some information? I know COVID is a big thing right now, even for some young people that may be afraid or really don't know how to departmentalize those feelings. But what can you kind of speak to that about, your job? I know you help individuals with jobs in that area of the health field. So what can you kind of share on that? And I'm coming to Miss Camisha while she's thinking that while Shayla's thinking of that, I'm going to come to Miss Camisha. I know you are back and getting your PhD degree. I want to find out what made you continue to go on. Like Miss Shayla has got her degree, but what is one drive that has continually to push you to continue on to get your degree, and what can you kind of share to help young people to continue on? So I'll go to Shayla first, and then I'm gonna come to you, Camisha. Okay.
Sure. So I think one of the biggest things is, certainly following all the guidelines that are out there, because the one thing I will say is I know some people are not sure, is COVID real? I think it's very real. And I actually got to spend some time in our emergency department. I volunteered to come in and work and help out the staff, because certainly they're tired, they're exhausted. So I wanted to do my part in giving back and just being a support. And so that's the biggest thing, is I think it's very real. But also I think the hospital is so safe. We have all the protective equipment and everything that you need. And so you can still walk through a facility if you have to go there. I think it's probably one of the safest places to be honest. And so I think it's just following the guidelines and making sure you do wear your mask and distance. And I know it's hard around the holidays. It's very hard for me to not get together with my grandparents, my family. I feel like I haven't seen some people the whole year. But I think we will get past this. And I think the more we follow what's out there, the guidelines, the quicker we'll be back to somewhat of a normal life, whatever that'll look like after all of this. I'm sure it'll be different, but I think it's just, I encourage everybody to just take it seriously. But also there's a lot of, there's providers and doctors that will take good care of you or your family members. If you do, get it, or somebody else in your family gets it, you don't have to be super scared about that. They are in great hands. They have a lot of knowledge and things like that. So and certainly I'll just put a little plug in too. We are always hiring, and it's not scary to work in healthcare. I know some people may be deterred, but I know also there are industries where they had to close down and things like that. But healthcare, we are always hiring, and I guarantee we have an opportunity for you if you have interest.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Shayla. I think you only help not only the young people, but some adults as well. So thank you for sharing that. And the fact that they can actually look for an opportunity to work in the healthcare field. So thank you to all of our healthcare providers. And we appreciate you for what you do day in and day out. Ms. Camisha, I know I asked you that question, and I'll give you an opportunity to answer as well.
Okay, so my question, I think, was around what motivated me to continue my education.
Yes.
So actually, I think a lot of what I read, in the book, talking about making those giant steps and making those leaps and pushing past fear and continuing to keep going. And, so I actually, when I initially got my bachelor's degree, I was in a PhD program and I already had a family and you know, so kind of like some life circumstances, made it that, I didn't actually complete the PhD at that point. So it's something that, it's a goal that I've always had. And, I just decided, to go back and complete that goal. And, it's something that's important to me. It's definitely been challenging, with COVID, to keep going. I actually had some great news yesterday, or as of, yesterday I got my final grades for the semester. So I finished all but one course. I still have one more course to take. And then the remainder of my program will be focused on the dissertation. So I'm excited about that. And so, in reading that book, and when, I work with, community college students, at my institution, I'm always telling, people to keep going, but I'm also telling that to myself as well. And so, that's the best advice that I can give people, no matter what it is that you want to do in life, don't give up on it. Sometimes a delay is not a denial, right? We have to, we have to just, figure out a way and, utilize your support system, because I know that's really been helpful to me. And I actually, one of the things that I did yesterday when I got my grades, my final grades for the semester, and, I was excited. I had, I was like, oh, I only have one more, content course next semester. And then everything else is dissertation, which is scary. But, I reached out to a lot of people, and I still haven't finished, but, quite a few people who are part of my village of support. And, whether it's through a text or a phone call yesterday, and I just said, just wanted to let you know, I finished for the semester all of my assignments, because I'm not always able to talk to people that much, because I've, this is, a lot of work, and that I only have one more course, and I want to thank you for being a part of my village. So I think, that's another good message, that it's important to thank those people that help support us, and I wanted to just put a quick plug in, for when we think about the physical, because I'm actually a chemist as well. I'm a chemist and a mathematician. So thinking about, and I've done some work with infectious diseases, not COVID, but I'm not working in that field right now. But, not only those kind of like scientific aspects of the disease, and, actually, did someone test positive? Are they wearing masks? But also just the mental fatigue, that we're dealing with in terms of the social distancing. And so we have to remember that even as we socially distance ourselves, not to isolate ourselves. So I just wanted to, put that plug in. So we have to reach out. We're intended to be connected with other people.
Ooh, I think I'm full from you ladies have really outdone yourselves on today. We have heard some phenomenal books and got some phenomenal inspiration from both of you. And I, again, on behalf of Floyd Stokes and the American Literacy Corporation and 365 Reading, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedules, your busy schedules, to go ahead and read to the young people on today. Again, congratulations to you, Shayla, on getting your degree. And we say early congratulations to you, Camisha, for continuing your degree as well. I think it's so inspirational to see, especially women, but women of color as well, to just go on and do that. So you have outdone yourself. We talked a lot, and I just want to thank you so much again. And thank you, readers and listeners, for listening on today. Join us on tomorrow. We'll be right back here at 365 Reading. And again, if you want to sign up, go to www.superreader.org and sign up today. Hopefully we see these ladies again throughout sometime this year, and they'll come back and read and tell us some more about themselves. So again, thank you for listening to our reading today, and we will see you on tomorrow. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.